Love, peace, light, and blessings. So, family, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome on in. My name is Jazz. If you're one of my A1 Day 1 subscribers, shout out to you, spiritual gangsters, you original souls. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get the light right, y'all. I'm in the bed. But I just had a message that I wanted to share, and it's Sunday, so I wanted to come through for a spiritual service. I know it's a little late, so if you catch it in the morning, it's still cool. It will still apply. I just feel like this message is so relevant. This message is so relevant. This message is so relevant. So today we're going to be talking about New Age, back to the good book. Okay? I feel like there is an agenda, okay? And that is going to be the only reason why my ancestors will allow me to touch base on this topic. Hello, my beautiful Terry. Welcome on in, my love. The only reason why the ancestors going to let Jazz touch base on this topic is because there's a little agenda, I definitely feel like, behind this whole new age, back to the good book, okay? Hello, Mystic Moon. Welcome on in. Welcome to spiritual service, you guys. Happy holy day. So we're going to keep this message, hello, Saturn conscious, less demeaning. This message is to not be demeaning at all. The ancestors wouldn't allow me to speak upon it if we were to be derogatory or demeaning or nasty towards anybody's beliefs or religion, because that's dry pussy energy, and that's not what we got over here on Jazz Channel. We're not here to be demeaning, but what we are here to do is to just bring some awareness to, I feel like, some misconceptions, because the agenda is to implement misconceptions. Now, if you do feel like the good book is your way of life, please, please show us the way. Be the light. You know what I'm saying? Christ consciousness has its power and its place in this age of Aquarius. So when we talk about new age, back to the good book, the perception that's trying to be placed is that walking a spiritual journey or doing something that is non-religious is to be some type of new religion or some type of new practice or some type of new wave is what is being implemented. And what they're comparing and contrasting is to come back to Christianity or some type of foundation that's based off of Catholicism, you guys. And it baffles me personally as a spiritual practitioner, because what they're considering to be new age practices is ancient as fuck. I haven't seen anything listed thus far being referenced as new age that's new. So that's why I got the soul family here, because we're here to dive a little deeper. And if we can't find what we're looking for, typically what that means is that there is an agenda. For those people who are genuinely sponges to the spiritual journey, who are genuinely seeking higher knowledge, and who may be at their crossroads, if you guys remember what that looks like, where you're privy and you're open and you're looking for the information, and if you come across the wrong person, that can taint your whole entire spiritual experience on your journey. And if you come across some new age, look, 11 people, 11 likes when I said that. If you come across some new age shit like that, message like that, that is misinforming and misleading when you're at that crossroads in your spiritual journey, I just feel like that is disheartening, and that is very, very hard to come out of. So let's see. The Virgo in me was curious to see what this new age is all about, because what they're listing, y'all, it sounds ancient to me. So let's dive deep, y'all. It says New Age is a range of spiritual or religious practices and beliefs which rapidly grew in the Western world during the 1970s. Many scholars of the subject refer to it as the New Age movement. Okay? So that sounds about around the time that the age of Pisces shifted into the age of Aquarius. So wait a minute, soul family, there might be some truth to this shit, because it sounds like if you're referencing New Age now, you might be onto something. Earth ages, and when she ages, we reference them as the astrological ages. So around the 1970s, we were rapidly gravitating from that age of Pisces, which was that Pisces rules the subconscious, you guys. And during the age of Pisces, a lot of us were under spells. A lot of us were under spells. A lot of our parents, a lot of our ancestors during that age of Pisces, we were all looking for a leader. And our minds were sponges to anybody who looked like they were capable of leading us in the direction that we felt like we needed to be guided in. If they gave us a God, we worshiped it. They gave us money, and because they gave human beings money, money wouldn't even exist if we didn't give it value. So I'm showing you what the age of Pisces was doing. It was creating mental constructs for the human being. So it says around the 1970s is when New Age beliefs became implemented. These beliefs surround reincarnation, astrology, psychics, physics, and the presence of spiritual energy in physical objects like mountains or trees. The fuck is New Age about that? Wait a minute, what? Reincarnation, where my Hindus at? Come on now. What's new about that? People been believing in that. There's nothing new about that concept. Astrology. We had astrology in ancient Kemet. That's prior to the ancient Egyptian civilization that we're all privy to. The pyramids of Giza and stuff, yeah. Kemetic civilization, that Kemetic yoga, that Kemetic astrology. That stuff is ancient. What is new about astrology, you guys? Physics? What's new about that? Is that a new age? Is that something new? I think all our ancestors was tapped into this stuff. The presence of spiritual energy, well, that's what Ifa is all about. Spirit. That one spirit separated into multiple entities and energies, okay? So physical objects like mountains or trees, that's what African spiritual systems is all about, acknowledging the life force and everything created by creation. This stuff is ancient. What's new about this? We got to make it funny so it's not demeaning, okay, guys? So laugh with me. Laugh with me. It says Christianity is the world's biggest religion with about 2.1 billion followers worldwide, you guys. That's deep. It is based on the teachings of Jesus Christ, who lived in the Holy Land 2,000 years ago. Okay? So, remember I told y'all that we're all familiar with a lot of Egyptian civilization because that's what they would allow us to read about. Let's be real. That's the information that they made readily available. So that's what you learned in your world history class. And if you had the ability, I know I had the ability to take it as an elective, meaning you had to elect into this class, but I did take African American Studies in my senior year of high school, and you did learn a little bit more about, you know, Egyptian civilization and Kemetic civilization, but let's not even go that deep to ancient Kemet. Let's just say the pyramids of Giza and all of the monumental tombs that we're privy to in the relics of Egypt's Old Kingdom era. These things were constructed 4,500 years ago. That predates the existence of, with these 2.1 billion, that is the majority. Let's keep it a whole stack, y'all. The majority of the population is believers of this contrary, because this is the contrast to what they're telling you not to believe in. And I personally believe that everybody should go where their heart guides them, right? And that direction may not be the same as mine, but I believe that there are many routes to the same destination at the end of the day, and no one route is better than the other. But the way that this new age versus, you see how they put that division there? They throw that glove on immediately when you tap into that agenda. They throw the glove on as if there is some type of comparison. They ultimately are creating a division here. I don't see anybody in the spiritual community out here commuting. We don't have missionaries, you guys. We don't go into people's countries. We don't offer them natural things and needs. We don't dangle their needs in return for worship of our gods. We don't do that. In the spiritual community, we don't have missionaries out here. Because I strongly believe that if you have a strong belief, you do not need to recruit anybody. All you have to do is show and prove. And that's why I strongly believe if the good book helps you, then help us. Because all you have to do is show up and give us the word, and that proves that Christ consciousness still exists and still moves through all of us, as long as people are here to withhold it. But if we keep it a whole stack, Christ hung out with me. The ones that they can't believe God chooses to use. Christ hung out with the ones that were believed to be the worst of the worst, or the unusables. That's the ones that he chose to kick it with. At the end of the day, it really wasn't the saints, it was truly the sinners. So the same people, and that's why they always say you gotta love your enemies. At the end of the day, if you really go by the good book, it is a good book to live by, but you can't allow it to live your life. You got to live your own life with these guidelines that we have, whether it be the Torah, whether it be the Quran, whether it be the Kabbalah, whether it be the Bible, y'all. There's nothing new about what spiritual people choose to practice, is my whole entire point. The only thing that's new is the age that we are currently living in, the age that our souls have incarnated in, and that is the age of Aquarius. And what do we know about Aquarius? The way that an Aquarius mind works, it's like an alien. We have transcended this dimension. We are in the age where information is so readily available to us that if the world didn't present it, we can tap into it. We're beyond this dimension now. That is the age that we're in. So we spent the last 400 or 500 years of the age of Pisces not really curious about our spirit's reincarnation, not really curious about our astrologies and our alignments in the astronomy, not really curious about other things such as energy and nature and life force and things of that nature. It's because we were being manipulated. We were under spells. Now that we've transcended into this information age, you can't manipulate an Aquarius. Come on, where are my Aquarians? I'm Aquarius rising. That's why most of y'all see me as an alien. Let's keep it real. Most of y'all see my inner alien. Forget my Virgo sun, right? Forget my Aries moon. It comes out through passion sometimes, but what y'all really see is my little inner alien. And that's what's coming out in this age. It's the life force. It's the thing that you can't box in. You can't box an Aquarius in. It's with the mind. The mind is what you can box in. So it says the ancient Egyptian civil year, its holidays and religious records reflect its apparent establishment at a point when the return of the bright star Sirius to the night sky was considered to herald the annual flooding of the Nile River. You guys, back before we had all of these street lights and these cities and all of these things that we cherish, and it came as a form of evolution, and the things that we are living in, we didn't have all of that. Y'all know what we live by? We live by that sun. We live by them stars. We created mathematics. We created science. We created all of this stuff with what is considered to be new age. There's nothing new about us tapping back into or familiarizing ourselves with how our ancestors chose to do it before all of this technology came into place. These things were being done prior to us even figuring it out today, and that's with all of the technology that we have today. Our minds were wired in a way where we can still be strategic enough to figure these things out. And our minds were also wired in a way where we weren't physically boxed into this world, and we could strategize and figure out the mysteries of the spirit and the mind as well. I really don't like the division that this concept is implementing. I don't like division as a result of religion in general. And I genuinely feel like the only reasons why people feel the need to recruit. I'm live.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Okay. The only reasons why people feel the need to recruit is if they don't know if it works. They need more people to test it out. If you really are solidified in your belief system, you don't feel judgmental of the walk or the way of anybody else's. Because if yours works for you, who cares what works for them, right? So when you have them Jehovah Witnesses waking you up early in the morning, I really want y'all to consider if they are as solidified in their belief system as you are in yours. Because your God didn't wake you up to go find believers when it had a strong one as is. How many does it really need? If one good one should be enough, right? Because I believe if you read that good book, Jesus was supposed to be enough for all of us to believe. And whatever higher belief that led him to walk it and talk it the way that he did or he chose to, right? And even if nothing was leading him but him, then I still follow. If I was living back then, I'd still follow. That would have been a great way. But that's one way, you guys. Because on another side of that earth during the same time, age, and era, it was probably somebody looking at Buddha like, dang, that way could change my life. Let me get in line. All right? And then on another side of that earth, during the same age and era, it was probably another person looking at Oshun like, teach me. I'm just giving y'all analogies. I'm real shamanic, so we storytell over here. But at the end of the day, I just feel like just because Yeshua is not my way doesn't mean that it can't guide somebody towards their destiny. But I think that everybody should acknowledge that whatever way works for you may not be the way towards everyone's destiny, and that's okay. We don't have to prove our God right nor wrong. Our gods don't need our help. And when we choose that route, I do feel like it just divides us further from the unity consciousness that's necessary for us to eventually all get on one accord and get on one plane. So until we can see what's new about new age, except for the fact that we're in a new age of Aquarius, then I don't see why we need to be persuaded to conform or to change any spiritual beliefs or any practices, especially if it works. If it's working for you and it didn't work for somebody else, maybe they should be taking some pointers from you before giving you pointers about what they're still studying. You know what I'm saying? Because we all students to life. So let's be gracious while anybody teaches, right? But the fact of the matter is, if somebody's teaching you to conquer, if somebody's teaching you to divide, I want you to consider who that teacher is learning from. What intention that God may have. Because there are agendas here, you guys. There was a big wave during the initial age of Aquarius where a lot of people were waking up. When that Black Lives Matter whole happening during the pandemic, you guys, there was a huge awakening. There was a mass awakening on this planet. Understand me when I say those vessels that are not strong enough for the journey, because this journey is not for the faint of heart, you guys. Those vessels that bend and crack under pressure versus becoming a diamond like they were supposed to, they become used by lower vibrations to infuse lower vibrations. They become hosts for lower vibrations to work for lower vibrations. And the best thing to utilize in regards to a powerful movement is division. And I think history has showed us that in so many ways. Racism, colorism, feminism. The best way, you guys, to do anything towards any type of powerful shift, movement, or transformation in this world is division. And that's why religion gets such a bad rap, because its history shows how it's been strategically utilized to divide us. And that's why for us who are still spiritual journey walkers and even religious practicers, whatever resonates with you, because some of y'all are not a one size fits all, and you should not be. You should do whatever feels good and resonates best with you without anybody persuading you to do so. Only with the divine guiding you towards whatever is comfortable. Whatever shoe's supposed to fit you, Cinderella, that's all you're supposed to do. You should never come on a message, a video that is trying to tell you to do anything other than what resonates with your intuition. So if you do feel like you gravitate towards crystals and Reiki and healing and stuff like that, it's nothing new about that. That is very ancient to our ancestors. Prior to westernized medication, we laid hands, honey. We laid hands, herbs, pills, and potions. Okay? We had all that shit. So there's nothing new about natural healing and natural remedies and root work and things of that nature. That is ancient age. That's new age is westernized medication. If you find yourself gravitating towards astrology and astronomy prior to all this technology, that is how we studied. It was through the extraterrestrial, it was through the stars, the sun, the moon. We learned mathematics and science through all of that shit. How powerful were them ancestors, y'all? It's nothing new about these practices. We're just now figuring it out in this new age where the information is readily available. If you find yourself gravitating towards information about reincarnation and things of that nature, well, I'm not surprised if every doctrine here available to man has tainted the perception of the afterlife. Everybody's soul is longing for a different perception or a whole ideology about where they going when they leave here. Every fucking body's telling y'all to rest in peace, and nobody expects to rise powerfully now. Everybody thinks that this is it once you leave here, so you live your days like you here to die. Like it's nothing here after death. Like judgment don't send you and ascend you further than what you came here as. So reincarnation, there's nothing new about that because you couldn't kill our ancestors. They didn't have the same ideology that we do as death when they understood the life force. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, meaning only your creator can bring you in this world and take you out. If you find yourself gravitating towards ancestors, people might want to put you in a psychiatric ward, but they should actually put people who believe in made up people, to be honest. Until we see the tombs, show me the tombs and I'll be a believer. Y'all see Jazz right hand up. Let me see them disciples. Dig them up. Let me see. If he risen, I don't expect to see him. But let me see all of them. When you find them, I'm a believer. Give me the good book. Y'all see my right hand. The day they find them is the day I'm a believer. So you find yourself gravitating towards believing in your ancestors. The only thing that can be proven to be worthy of being actual and factual. And somebody's telling you not to believe and to believe in something and somebody that cannot be proven. You better off believing in the tombs that they can at least find in Egypt. It's not make-believe. It's not a character. It's not a fiction, you guys. And if you can't gravitate towards believing in something fictional, believe in yourself. You're here. That's a fact. Your ancestors are here today. Some of you buried some of them, and some of your loved ones buried the ones you ain't never met. But when you call on them, you know that's a real fucking energy. You know it's real. It wasn't in a book. You know when you say ancestors, as long as you're here, they're real. And until they find them tombs, y'all got my word, I'll be a believer. I'll be a believer when they find them. But the fact of the matter is, there's truth to every lie and a lot of every truth. And a lot of these stories are intertwined with each other. And the fact that a lot of these tombs were already found in ancient Egypt, that means a lot of these stories are also validated. And that's just what my ancestors say. to those who believe in things that have not been proven yet, but still make you a great human being. I just choose to believe in what I know can be proven. And a lot of this agenda is trying to make people stray away from what they know to be facts versus what is fiction. We are in the age of Aquarius, and a lot of these agendas are going to try to make you go back to the age of Pisces. It's going to try to put a spell back on your mind and try to make you crazy for believing otherwise. You ain't crazy for believing otherwise. The information is readily available to you mentally, physically, and spiritually, you guys. Y'all tapped in. Like an Aquarius, you can't box in an Aquarius mind. You can't. You cannot. You can't see them coming. Every time, now that we in this age, spirit just drop gems. Who gonna catch them? It's like the veil. Y'all, the veil is lifted. You hear me? So people who can't fully understand that cognitive dissonance that occurs when we are rapidly evolving and ascending into an age where none of this shit is going to make sense. And I want to get Alba back on here, which is my astrologer, because I've been really looking into some type of Mars energy that's surrounding the planet. And apparently that's going to influence a lot of areas such as like politics and religion and all of these structures. You know what I'm saying? I feel like these structures is getting ready to crumble down. So we have to really, really get in tune with who we are, what we know to be real for us personally, not from what we've been taught that worked for someone else during the time and the age that they needed that. This is a new time and a new age where you might not need that soul family. You might need something else. You gotta get to know who you pray to, how they answer you, what you need to do to get these prayers answered as well. It's a tag team effort. Because if you are in that crossroads of your spiritual journey where you still getting solid, you're not quite forward tough yet, but you know for a fact that you a few steps away. Don't let shit like this deter you away from all the hard work that you've been doing. There are a lot of people. You got the blind leading the blind half of the time. You do. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And sometimes the blind will get another blind mice, okay? And eventually that mice will go venture off and figure it out. But it's another flock that couldn't see. As long as you don't become a part of that flock collective that can't see, Spirit is always going to put a message through the messenger, no matter how tainted the messenger may be. Get what you need from those energies, because at the end of the day, I do believe that if you're strong enough to face these agendas that come up within the spiritual community, that is a form of passing the test of solidarity within your practice, within your journey, and things of that nature. But nothing that you come across that should be within your highest good should ever separate and divide you from your Most High and what makes you a great individual. And I'm sorry, if that's what all the Christians going, hell can't be that bad. It can't be that motherfucking bad, y'all. Come on now. If I'm about to be up there being judged and shit, look, I'm ink my whole body. I don't give a motherfucker. It's going to be a lot of shit that they going to be judging me. I don't want to live through that. If that's where all of them is going, y'all think we could thug that shit out. Earth and hell got to be just like this. It's got to be the same. It's got to be the same. Because if that's where all these motherfuckers is going, y'all, that's conquering, dividing, and judging and doing all of this other stuff, that's not the place for me. That is not my afterlife. That is not my queendom. I know for a fact that's not where I belong. So if you know, like you know, that that is not your kingdom or your queendom, then I would stop aspiring to attend that party. Live your authentic nature, y'all. That's not the party for me. I don't want to pop bottles with them. Mm-mm. I want the real people, the people that came, saw, and conquered, the people that got the best of both worlds, the people that lived authentically, the people that got stories to tell. Because I'm going to have a story to tell. And it ain't going to be one-sided. I don't got time to be being judged. I really don't. And I'm not here to judge none of y'all. I don't want y'all to judge none of me. I don't want y'all to surround yourself with energies or individuals that make you feel judged. That's not a good place to be. And that's coming from a person who used to be judgmental. This is my shadow speaking to y'all through me. Because we here now. This is coming. One of my biggest things I had to overwork. And this is something that an unevolved Virgo can attest to. Is judgment. For me to get to this place, come on now, where the ancestors encourage me to speak on a topic like this is because I've worked through some things within my shadow where my shadow can peek some shit out and say, no, that ain't right. That ain't right. And we got to do better collectively, y'all, in regards to unification. We really do. Because I don't got no missionaries. There are no voodoo missionaries that I know of. There are no Hindu missionaries that I know of. There are no Ifa missionaries that I know of. There are no Santeria missionaries that I know of. There are no Pelo Mayombe missionaries that I know of. There are no Candomblé missionaries that I know of. There are no Buddhist missionaries that I know of. Why we got Christians in every melanated state and country and continent converting niggas? Just something to think about, collective. It's a different Sunday spiritual service. We got something to think about. We got homework. We got homework. Make it make sense. Why? There's an agenda to utilize religion to implement division. That is not from the Most High. I don't work for that agenda. That is not my assignment. I don't understand it. I send y'all love, peace, light, and blessings. Happy holy day, you guys. Thank you for kicking it with the kid. I hope y'all enjoy y'all Sunday. And until next time.